Okay, so we're going to be doing question 53, maximum subarray. So for this question in particular, it's similar to another question we did on this channel, which was like the maximum subarray of X elements. That question used the sliding window method because we needed to add um, X amount of numbers concurrent to one another to get the max. However, in this instance, it's not like that. It's a maximum subarray. So there is no X or K given, right? That kind of gives you like how long we need to add those numbers for. We need to just find the max point blank period. So how do we go and do that? Well, it's pretty easy. It's not as hard as it sounds like. Um, the first thing first is for this problem in particular, we need to keep track of the current sum that we have, and we're trying to find the max sum, right? So we also need to keep track of the max sum. So first things first is definitely create some variables for that. So current underscore sum equals and max underscore sum equals. Current sum is going equal to 0 because this value is going to be changing as we add values, and max sum. So max sum, we're trying to find the max of whatever we've been adding, and we're going to be getting those added numbers from the current sum. So we don't need to worry about too much about the value. The only thing we need to worry about now is that for the first iteration, max sum is going to set equal to nums at index 0, right? Nums at index 0 is literally just basically the first number within the list. So we're also going to copy and paste this so we could literally see. So max sum would be equal to -2 right now. And then, now that we have these two variables, we need to update and change them, right? We need to update and change current sum so we can add the values, right? Once we add values, we can kind of, make some conditions to see whether or not that's the highest value we have. So if we want to check every single one of these values in this list, then we need to do some sort of loop. And the most obvious loop would be a for loop, right? So for x and nums, right? X would represent each single one of these numbers within the list. And you're going to do a sort of an if statement, right? We want to make sure if current sum is not less than 0, right? Or if it is less than 0, we're going to do something. We're going to reset current sum. The reason for this is think about it, right? If we ever get current sum to a negative number, then there's no point because you know that's just going to be, like, that's not the answer, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do if current underscore sum is ever less than 0, we're going to set current underscore sum back to 0, right? So this basically updates current sum every single time we kind of reach a condition where our value is negative because we don't want that answer. And then what we're going to do is this is just sort of, this is our edge case, right? Edge case. And we need to continuously be updating. So what we're going to do is current underscore sum plus or equals x. Let's change this to less. So what's happening here is current sum is now continuously updating, right, with x. So if current sum, let's say current sum is 0, right? Current 0 plus equals x. So this instance, it'll be -2. Is current sum less than 0? Yes, it is because we just added that -2 to it. So we reset it and we continue the loop, right? So perfect. So continue sum is continuously be updating. Now what we need to do is update max sum, right? So max underscore sum is going to equal what? Well, we're trying to find the max of something, right? So we could use the max function. So max of, and what are the two maxes that we're trying to get out of? Well, if current sum is always updating, we definitely going to want the max of current underscore sum, right? And we need the max of the max sum, right? Perfect. So now we have these two, and all we need to do is just return max sum because that's our answer. Perfect. So let's take a look. We have current sum equals 0, and max sum equals nums at index 0, right? These are our two variables. For x and nums, so x represents each single one of these numbers. If current sum, the number that we have, right, is less than 0, then set equal to 0. This is sort of the edge case to make sure that if the number is ever negative, then just reset it. And then current sum is always updating, right? So we're adding x to it. So we add x, 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 and if we ever add an x and it leads to a negative number, then we just reset it. Then we're going to always be updating max sum to the max of current sum, which is the number we're adding, and whatever the max sum may have been any other occasion. So because of this, this is obviously going to be our answer, and all we have to do is return it. So let's give it a run to see if everything is working out. Perfect. Let's give it a submit to see if all of the test cases are met. And golden.